Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and we are finally back, both from the break as well as from us streaming earlier, because I did stream for a few hours earlier. Unfortunately, the connection wanted to disconnect as it normally has been, so it did get cut a little bit shorter. I was just going to stream the whole time, but just ended up grabbing dinner in between, I figured, since the stream went down anyways. But we're back now. We'll be streaming for about an hour or so, and then going to be stopping because Salty and the developers are apparently doing a Q&A stream today, which I actually didn't even realize about until someone mentioned it like literally moments ago. So I do need to make sure to stop by around 9:30 or so, because that is likely around the time when they will be starting their thing. So that's pretty much the game plan. We already finished out Guild Wars and everything. We did that at the beginning of the previous stream, which at this exact moment isn't currently up, but by the time any of you are watching this later, it probably already is. But yeah, we ended up doing all of Guild Wars all in one stream earlier, as well as messing around with some grinding of metals and everything. As far as our current standing, it's like right on the end of like just going down. So hopefully someone in the guild will do their battles. I believe we're still missing a few, and those few would make us go and not go down a rank. So hopefully that'll end up getting in and we'll be good to go, because we currently have someone who basically didn't do any of their battles yet, which is the main thing holding us back right there. But anyways, other than that, yeah, going to be metal grinding mostly this stream, since we finished out everything on the previous stream. Of course, we did get the new hero class. The new hero class is the most useless thing that has ever existed. And other than that, we'll go and show some spoilers. So let me go bring up the little page that has everything related to that. Before I do, though, hello, everyone. Let's see. How far back do these go? Hello, Kizza. Hello, Rapid. Hello, Drak. Hello, Regina. Let's see. Hello, DeCrail. Hello, Keylime. Hey. Hello, Corn. Hello, Azorm guy. Hello, William. Hello, name in Russian that I have no clue how to pronounce. Hello, Charles. And hello, everyone else. Welcome. So, let's go over the spoilers real quick. There are a few things coming next week. One is one of the most OP glory troops we've gotten in a long while. Let's see. Where'd it go? Where's my window for that? Why did it move it to a different window? I told you to do this window. Where'd it go? That's not the window I want. That's not the window I want. It's hiding on me. No, that's the stream window. I don't want that one. That's not it either. I'm like opening every last one. Let's see. Where'd it go? I literally just had it set. It's Gems of War itself. We don't want that. Seriously. Okay, let me go click on it, and that will probably make it want to focus it. There it is. Now, do you want to go to that? Let's see. It still didn't bring it up. Weird. I literally just had to set. And then it like changed randomly to nothing. There it goes. That's weird. Okay, anyways. And that should be it. So, things of all the things that are coming of next week. They are quite decent, actually. Mainly because it's Zejin, and of course Zejin is goblins, and goblins means extra turn, and extra turn means ridiculously overpowered regardless of what it does, because you add extra turn to anything and it's automatically pretty good. Even if it's something that's barely even that decent, you add an extra turn to it and you just made it like 5 times better in this game. But as far as the event, it's going to be really easy, simply because we can kill the towers with extra turn spam. But deals damage to an enemy, a standard amount of extra damage if it's based on Ascension. And other than that, it gains an extra turn automatically, of course, as it is a goblin. And either explodes 4 gems or enchants all other allies, both of which will be very useful. You'll either get a little bit of board clear and mana accumulation, or you'll end up getting an enchant of basically 6 mana per turn for your other 3 troops. Other than that, it's pretty noteworthy in that he is, if I'm not mistaken, the first goblin to have the Impervious trait, which that alone in combination actually makes him pretty viable for once outside of towers. So obviously most invasion troops and raid troops tend to be pretty useless outside their game mode. However, this is decent enough that it probably will be used, at least to some degree, outside of its game mode. However, that is not the really good one that's coming out. The really good one that's coming out is the String Fiddler. So, for 13 mana costs, a green-purple that silences an enemy, and then explodes 10 gems of their mana color. So it'll do a random one based on their color. So let's say they are yellow-blue, it'll either explode 10 yellow or 10 blue. And then it gains an extra turn. This will, of course, be very, very, very broken. Mainly because it's going to be essentially the best silence option in the entire game, if not the best silence option in the entire game. It's also going to have a pretty hefty amount of explodes. 10 is definitely not a small amount. And that also means, actually, I'm not sure if that is based on its magic or static. It might actually be more explosions than 10. If it's and if it is static, that means it can be can't be countered by web. So that's the only annoying thing about looking at it in this way. I'm actually not certain which way it is, but if I had to guess, it's probably boosted by magic, meaning it's probably even higher than 10 explosions. And then gains an extra turn. So this is basically going to be a mass exploder that constantly has extra turns, and is going to be insanely good with Gob Truffle. Not only does it help keep Gob Truffle going with all of its explosions, the disable, and everything, but it also gets to have a Leaf Storm. It gets to summon a Leaf Storm at the start of battle, which was one of the aspects that we've kind of been needing to make Truffle work. Of course, you had to do it with basically just Hero, since there weren't really any other viable options to do it with. But now that they just added String Fiddler, or at least tomorrow anyways, once it gets added, yeah, that's going to be insanely good with Truffle. So yeah, this is going to be a nice troop. Might even be worth upgrading. Also, I didn't even realize it until earlier today when I was just looking at this before I started stream. But this thing over here that they've been using for a while now on all of these posts on the forum, these are the borders, the gold border for a maxed out troop. I didn't even realize this until like 10 minutes ago, or like right before the stream. But they've been doing this for months now, and I didn't even realize that they were the same icon until like moments ago, like right before this stream. But yeah, it's kind of funny. For any of you that don't know, that's what it looks like when you get it maxed to gold. If you haven't gotten any of them to gold yet, that's the border that goes around the mana color on all of your troops once you get them maxed. But anyways, other than that, we do have a really good weapon too. Basically, we're getting the Goblin version of the double weapons, the ones that create 2 colors based on a troop, and ends up creating green and red. Green, insanely good. Red, not so much, though that does mean it could be used with Goblin Rocket and stuff. However, the green is obviously the most useful thing, as that will feed into Truffle, meaning that you can actually do Truffle into Turnip. How funny. Food into food. So you can use some food to do it into other food, and then keep spamming the food until you win. What a great way to farm. But yeah, you can now use Turnip into Truffle. Apparently, we're just going to start talking in food terms for everything now. But yeah, that's going to be a really strong combo, Turnip to Truffle. And other than that, something that doesn't normally happen, because the days kind of shifted enough that it has, is, if I'm not mistaken, we have no event this weekend. However, we do have a Mythic. So it's because it fell on the 1st this month. So yeah, the first Friday of next month is a 1st on the 1st. So 1st of November. So we're going to be getting a Mythic then, of course, as we get a Mythic every 1st Friday of every month. And we're going to be getting next Friday King Bloodwood. I actually have no clue what he does, so I'll be as surprised as you guys as I read this. But yeah, it's a Forest of Thorn, Elemental Fae. Makes sense. Kind of looks like a really powered up Trent. But as far as what it does, it deals magic plus 8 heavy splash damage to an enemy, boosted by entangled and bleeding enemies at an 8 times boost ratio, then steals 10 life from all enemies. So it's a bit weird that he doesn't do true damage then, since that would synergize really well with his life steal. A little bit weird that it boosts on both Tangle and Bleed. Let's see, what's his final thing? Entangle and Inflict Bleed on a random enemy when watching 4 or 5 gem matches. Okay, that's kind of cool. This is the first time where an extra turn actually does 2 things rather than 1 off of a single effect. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out then. Especially since you could end up disabling the entire team that way. So yeah, that's actually not too bad. 23 mana cost for that. 33% score reduction to go with it. Be able to entangle the whole team and bleed the whole team, as well as, of course, bleed stacking with multiple instances. Of course, there's a lot of ways to cleanse that now. However, the enemy can't as easily, so you can still do that on them. And with that boost ratio, if you were to hit that on every single enemy, that's quite a bit of boost. That's, what, 8 bonuses? So 64. You'd be able to get 64 additional damage, and it is heavy splash, so it does 75% of that splash to the 2 adjacents. I have no clue what that is. 75% of that off the top of my head. But, yeah, that is pretty hefty amount of damage you'd be able to get out of that. Still feels a little bit weird that that's not true damage, but I guess with that boost ratio it would have been a little bit too powerful in that regard. But he does get to steal life, which does mean he actually gets to keep it too. So every single time he casts, assuming that there's 4 enemies that still have at least 10 HP, you're going to be gaining 40 HP per cast. On top of the fact, almost like a little mini Crimson Bat in that regard, or Draculus. But yeah, he'll gain 40 life. He'll end up hitting enough damage to probably one-shot something. And he'll constantly keep entangling and bleeding the enemies. And bleed, of course, does do damage over time, true damage over time, which might synergize a little bit with his 10 life steal. However, I feel like that's mostly going to keep him alive rather than specifically damage the enemy. Can't really think of a good synergy, though, because this is another one of those weird mixed troops that has a really high amount of physical damage and true damage. So it's always weird when troops get a mix like this, because obviously you'd mostly just want all physical or all true damage, and mixing the two together is, I don't know, it's just kind of always been weird. But, still a nice troop nonetheless. And the double status effect, I'm curious what other double status effects like that they might do in the future. Like maybe a disease, poison, or other things like that off of extra turn, or something that's actually useful. But who knows, maybe they'll even bring back a silence mana drain combination. Yeah, it seems okay. It seems slightly above average, but it's not going to be anything meta breaking as far as this Mythic is concerned. It's probably one worth skipping, just because I don't really feel like it's going to be used that much, but still a utility troop nonetheless that's going to come out here and there. Anyways, that's pretty much everything next week, as we have a weekend event, if I'm not mistaken, next week. And the only thing we're really getting is the new Mythic that we'll mess around with, and of course, farm tokens like crazy. Of course, you guys have had some time to do that already, especially with the Vault event. However, I have not, so I need to get on that grind. But anyways, that's that. So we'll go close that out. And speaking of grinds, let's go get on that grind. Because we have a lot of grinding to do. I don't even have a single +4 magic yet. I'm pretty sure there's people that already have 3. Let's see. Also, I didn't see any chat while I was reading through that. Let me go back a little bit. Hello, Mod Mark. Welcome. Yeah, goblins are excessively strong. They've always have been. Goblins, pretty much throughout the entirety of the game, have been some form of meta the entire time. I can't think of a single time where they haven't been. It has basically just shifted from one meta to the next. Almost every single troop in the entirety of the kingdom has been excessively broken at some time. Let's see. Let's go through every single one. I actually kind of want to go over this real quick. So, how overpowered has every single thing been within this kingdom? Black Beast at one point used to have the highest, most consistent attack rate in the entire game, since you can constantly keep rehealing and summoning stuff for it and just keep kind of looping that. It's still a pretty good option for it, just not the best. Boar Rider used to have 9 mana cost, which made it just way more effective than it was now, and used to be used in quite a few meta teams. You used to even just plop it on a team, kind of like how you put a Leprechaun there prior to that ever existing, or other similar things existing, prior to traits even existing, where you would use it as just a quick board control option prior to Empower and other stuff like that. Brian the Lucky at one point could gain infinite stats because it was at one point basically the only thing that increased magic. Actually, it was literally the only thing that could increase your allies' magic at one point in the game. Bugbear was never ultra broken. None of the 3 of the troops were never broken from the faction. However, obviously Truffle is. Giant Toadstool was never broken. Goblin was broken. Goblin has been pretty much always, at least in the early stages of the game, a really solid damage option, just because it was very low mana cost into a decent amount of damage. Goblin King has never been broken. Goblin Rocket used to be 9 mana cost, which made him excessively broken, and he's even is still pretty strong now. The main reason you don't ever really see me using him too often is just because he's a really slow win. However, he does have a pretty decent win rate, especially when you're using multiple due to the amount of board control it has. Goblin Shaman used to be ultra broken, similar to Boar Rider, in that except this was even easier to do it with, in that you could stack extra turns, basically meaning you can get infinite extra turns and take 3 matches and still get extra turns, because you basically just kept stacking extra turns over top of each other. Basically, anytime you took an extra turn off the board, while simultaneously also getting an extra turn off an ability, like he can, of course, you'd basically keep stacking extra turns, and it would allow you to take turns that weren't even extra turns and still get an extra turn, basically meaning you would never lose your turn, essentially. So, yeah, that was really broken. Gorbel has never been super broken, nor is that. High King Iron Gut's pretty self-explanatory in the current state of the game, given that he is the best Devour option in the game and can 100% devour things pretty quickly. Hobgoblin at one point had the overall highest damage ratio to mana cost, back when it had a 9 mana cost or so, similar to many other goblins. But at one point it was just the best damage overall, as it had a really high attack damage, pretty decent HP and armor, while also having the highest cast damage. So it ended up working out pretty nice, plus it had it into extra turn. King Gob Truffle is pretty obvious as it's still strong really right now, in that it is the best infinite loop in the entire game. Something that they basically patched out of the game, but literally brought it back with King Gob Truffle. So kind of weird that they did that. The mushrooms were never good, other than Truffle. Nobbin Brothers, I don't think was ever really broken. It's sometimes used in some Goblin combinations. Fizzbang upon release ended up having a 100% chance to explode. And it's gonna, it upon release was basically as overpowered as the troop that's coming out tomorrow. So I'm not sure what they're gonna do about the troop coming out tomorrow. But they ended up nerfing her for the same reason that he does. Like, the same thing that the troop comes out tomorrow does is basically the reason that she got nerfed when she was released. Because she used to have a 100% chance to explode. On top of the fact that she does a random stat, which made it very strong. Queen Grabblepaw has never been excessively broken, but has always been a really good extra turn damage source. Never broken, and never broken. So the most noteworthy ones then, I guess, were Princess Fizzbang, King Gob Truffle, which is still broken today, or really strong. Hobgoblin, High King Iron Gut, which is still strong today. Goblin King, Goblin Rockets, Goblin Shaman I meant. Goblin King's always been useless. Goblin, Brian the Lucky, Boar Rider, and Black Beast have all at one point been like one of the most broken troops in the game, or still are to some capacity. But yeah, anyways. And we're getting another one tomorrow. Let's see. Yeah, the next faction that's coming out in 2 weeks too is going to be extremely meta breaking as well, and probably in a good way though, more so with the other faction, because it's really going to change up how you can play the game. The weapon gets a free extra turn from its upgrade. Wait, does it really? Oh gosh, that's going to be broken. Oh no, the infinite loops just got worse. That's going to be ultra broken. Why will anyone ever... There's no way they're not going to nerf Truffle plus that. Oh, stream just died. Stream, come back. Better not keep doing this. I hate this so much. I hate when the stream keeps dying. It's back now. Let's see. What about Forest, Truffle, Turnip, and Mirage Queen? I'm still not sure the exact composition I'll be using it with. But it's probably going to be Weapon, Truffle, Truffle something. We'll see. I really hate that there's not an Elemental Hero class yet. Elemental Hero class would be so good with Truffle teams, but it just doesn't exist yet. Let's see. It's so broken, it broke the stream. That's funny. But anyways, let's go and actually do stuff now. I feel like I've been talking like the last 15 minutes, because I have been talking the last 15 minutes. Anyways, main thing we still need to do is obviously grind tokens infinitely. So currently we've been using a wide spread of teams for that. Right now I'm using an instant kill Zoogoth team, and the main reason I'm currently using this rather than some of the other options that are slightly quicker is mainly because most of those other options that are slightly quicker has hero in first slot, and right now I am trying to level up the what's it called hero class, the Diabolist. So I'm still trying to get that leveled, and because of that I can't put him in first slot, otherwise he will die way too quickly. So I've just been running with this since it allows hero to not be in first slot while still being relatively quick at killing these explore battles in 12. That's the current game plan. Just trying to get more tokens at the moment because I am really behind the curve. I'm pretty sure I'm not too far behind as far as people that only play for like an hour or two a day. But the people that grind like crazy probably already have 3 + 8 or +4 magic buffs, of which of course I do not have yet. Actually, I don't even have a single one yet. I still need 2 more Nisha token drops before I will have enough to have my first +4. And then obviously we still need at least another 2 on top of that. My legends I've already been starting to use though. My first legend I believe I put onto Yagway. I'm not sure what I'll be putting my next legend on, but I think I might just be putting them all into Yagway until he gets Mythic. Or until he gets Golden, I mean. Because Yagway is pretty good for quite a few things. It's good for Guild Wars. You can use it for PvP. It's one of the best bounty options, if not the best bounty option in the game. And this is a wide range that you can use them for. That are all really viable. And it gains a lot of benefits, both attack, HP, and magic, if I'm not mistaken. So a nice wide range of a little bit of everything that's useful is what it gains from level up. You've been playing non-stop and you still don't have a Medal of Nisha? I was getting really lucky initially. Currently I am 2 tokens away from a Medal of Nisha. I currently have 2 badges and 1 single token. And obviously you need 9 tokens for each medal. 3 for each badge, and then 3 badges for the token. I mean, for the medal. Let's get that for now. Nisha is allergic to crab raping. It looks like Keyline will never get it then. I got really lucky with it initially, and then kind of all the luck just dropped off. Like, I think within the first hour or 2 of grinding, I got a badge of Nisha. And then in all the grinding since, I've only gotten like 4 more. I'm not sure how much time I've actually grinded since elhay, though. I think it's only been about 10 hours or so, I want to say. Not sure exactly. Wasn't like timing it. And most of it was just thrown in between other stuff while just waiting. Rip the metal economy. You think he got burned out? I haven't gotten burned out yet of Explore, the new Explore system. But that's mainly because I haven't done like mass grinding. As I mentioned, I've mostly just been throwing it in between other stuff. I haven't really had the time to just sit down and grind it extensively. And still technically haven't. We did for like an hour and a half earlier on the previous stream. But we still haven't had like an 8-hour badge grinding stream, which we'll probably be doing at some point pretty soon. Just because, gosh, you have to put a lot of time in if you actually want to go max out everything. I probably won't be going anytime soon to be doing that. But the overall grind time for maxing out everything currently in the game with medals is upwards of like 3,000 hours or so. It is an insane amount of time if they don't add other methods to do so in the future. Obviously, you don't have to literally upgrade everything. However, it is going to be required for Kingdom Stars at some point in the future. 20+ star kingdoms, which are going to exist, that has been 100% confirmed. And you can even tell just by how the star systems are colored currently. Level 20 to 30 Kingdom Stars will require, to some capacity, these upgrades on troops. How much we need, we currently do not know. We probably won't know until like midway through next year, or sometime next year. But as it currently stands, we do 100% know it will be required to some capacity. Also, they're doing a Q&A stream tonight in about an hour. So if you have any questions that you want to ask them about badges, medals, or anything else in that regard, I believe that's one of the main things that they're going to be answering towards the end of the stream and discussing during the stream throughout the stream, because they haven't done a Q&A stream since medals, badges, and all that came out. So they're likely doing an explanation, most likely, of why they did that. I believe that's what they're covering with it. I literally found out about it like right before I started the stream, so I have no clue what they're going over, but if I had to guess, it's probably that. But yeah, they have a Q&A stream tonight. I'll go and catch that. Anything relevant I'll mention on tomorrow's stream. I don't think they're going to be mentioning anything too relevant. They're mostly just, as I mentioned, going over like why they added this and probably some future plans for next year. But then again, I'm not sure, because they'll probably have at least one more Q&A stream before the end of this year. So they might not be talking about next year plans, but they might. They might talk about 5.0 some. 5.0 is likely 2 patches from now, 2 or 3 patches from now. No official time has been given, but it's likely early next year. We're likely getting 1 or 2 patches prior to that. But yeah, 5.0 is around the corner. Let's see. And so far they've done something pretty huge for every single 0.0 patch. 2.0 was, well, 1.0 was launch, obviously. 2.0 was traits, the trait system, these 3 trait things. Which ends up like revolutionizing the game just because how much it diversified pretty much everything. 3.0, I believe, was Guild War. 4.0 was Underworld, and we have no clue what 5.0 is yet. How many drugs were you smoking when you designed this new Goblin weapon in Goblin Troop? I almost want to say the same thing about this hero class. This hero class is among the top 3 worst hero classes in the game. The only reason I don't want to say absolute worst is because it does have Jinx trait. And that's like one of its only redeeming qualities, is the fact that it has Jinx. Because ever since they got rid of Jinx on what's his name, off of Famine, it's been pretty hard to actually build Jinx teams. Just because Famine, using like 2 Famines on a team with like 1 other Jinx was the easiest way for the longest time to have a Jinx team. But then they end up removing Jinx off of Famine because it was being so overly used on him. But then they never really gave it back after they nerfed Mana Drain into the ground. So yeah, it's always been weird because ever since they've nerfed Famine, Jinx teams basically have never existed. It's a mechanic that often is like basically like unused, just because you need to use 2 or 3 Jinx for it to be particularly effective. Using only 1 in late game is does almost nothing due to how masteries work. But yeah, 2 to 3 would be really strong, and there's not too many viable ways to build 2 or 3 with what currently exists in the game. But the fact that a hero class has one now makes it a little bit easier. The only problem is it was put on like one of the worst hero classes in the game, which makes it not that viable, unfortunately. Let's see, we'll go for that for now. And it was killed at the last slot. Have the devs ever asked you to design a troop or class or weapon? They were originally at one point going to create a troop based on my character, but they never did. Mainly because of intellectual property issues. It's one of the reasons why they also haven't done any crossovers with this game. Because you have to keep in mind that they don't exactly own everything related in the game. I'm not sure exactly what the whole relationship is, but most of the actual assets related to the game belong to 505 Games. Even though their company is doing it and outsourcing all of it or doing whatever they're doing to get all the art and everything, I believe ultimately it belongs to 505 Games, which is one of the reasons they can't even do merch currently, or they've been trying to get it situated so that they can. It's because they technically don't have the rights to, since they don't actually own the intellectual property. And that's one of the main reasons they weren't able to do it earlier. And they never really got back to me on it, so, oh no, it may eventually happen. Let's see, we'll take that for now. Grab that, take another hit over there, grab all that, and just explode all the things. Hello, Marbarashi! Welcome again. Also, hello, Jacob. And hello, Liz. What do we need here? Oh, let's go for explosion into what should be the final kill, because this hits through barriers, so even if you barriers, it won't matter. That's actually one thing that they did do this most recent patch. Though Zugoff could already do it prior to this. But now all instant kills basically act like a Zugoff. All instant kills in the game can now hit through barrier as of this most recent patch. Before, some of them could and some of them couldn't. And it was weird to like know which one did or didn't. And now all of them uniformly do hit through barrier. That doesn't apply to Devour, but it applies to the instant kill mechanic. The things like Dracos 1337, Skyla, stuff like that. Anything that has specifically an instant kill on it. It's probably actually pretty noteworthy on things like Assassin as well. I haven't actually been using Assassin much since this most recent patch. But there's a pretty large buff to Assassin now that you can't actually block the instant kill with barrier. That used to be like one of the few ways that you could counter it, but now you can't. Might be one of the reasons why we saw so many more Assassins in Guild Wars this week. Because Assassin did get indirectly buffed in the most recent patch. Because not only does his 7% instant kill hit through barrier, his 10% one also hits through barrier. And there is no counter to it other than using a troop that has immune to do instant kill. And the only things that currently have immune to instant kill that are player-owned are the 6 Doom troops, which generally you would never use in a team, just because they are really, really weak. I hope we eventually get the towers as troops, though. Some of the towers would be really, really good as troops that you could actually use if they had Indestructible. I'm really surprised they didn't add it for whatever reason. Like, all the other game modes, they ended up adding it to some capacity, even raids with Zugoff. Obviously, they didn't add exactly Zugoff, but they added a version of him. But they never did that for towers for whatever reason. It was kind of weird. What do we need here? Let's just go for that one. Actually, why didn't I hit first slot? He has 50% reduction. Not gonna die. We need a Tacet troop. They were discussing it a couple years back, but then it just never went through. I would love to see it happen someday. Oh, I need to go contact Salty and Nepenthen. I believe mostly Nepenthen. I believe Nepenthen keeps track of most of that, last I recall. Also, she'll probably be on stream tonight, so I'm not going to ask her there, obviously. Because Surian and Nepenthen are like the 2 main developers, from my understanding. Because Surian's the lead developer, and Nepenthen, I forget her exact like role specifically. But whatever it is, it's one of the more important ones. Of course, even though we see Salty in the most, she's mostly just a community manager. We'll go for that for now. Aren't 2 towers coming during Christmas? I haven't looked forward that much. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. I actually haven't looked at the game file since they got updated. Whenever a patch comes out, how much further forward we can see in the future with spoilers actually ends up increasing because they end up updating the file system within the game, the invisible ones, during major patches or during any patch, you know, like the one that we just had the other week. So yeah, I didn't actually double check any of the newer stuff that's coming out in the near future since I've been away the entire time. I need to go look at it. Oh, you're not dead. There we go. Yeah, Assassin's a fun class. The only real big issue with Assassin is it's extremely luck-based, and generally you want higher consistency than that. But it's really strong when it does get lucky, or at least even mildly lucky. Like any battle that you get 1 or 2 instant kills on with it, it's pretty solid. And you can get lucky enough that you just wipe an entire team just with instant kills within a few turns. Let's see, where do we throw the Zoog off? We'll put it right there for now. Hopefully that's enough to kill. Yes it is. No it's not. Let's see if explosion's enough. Come on, Burn, you got this. And he's dead off the Zoog. There we go. Come on, Nisha. Nope, Yasmin and Gar. Don't give us useless ones. At least they both get upgraded. Still, those are useless. Give us low rarity ones. We need ultra high rarity ones. Let's see, what's getting near upgrade? Badge of Nisha is still getting close. Medal of Nisha is getting close. Another Medal of Cedric's getting close. Yeah, all of them are getting close. All 3 of those, actually, are, like, right on top of getting there. That's nice. But the grind continues. Where do we need to go next? Let's just go Dragon's Claw, I guess. Doesn't really matter too much. This team can take out any team competition in the game. At least relative to the stats that we're up against. I guess even really, really high stats, it could probably take 2. The only issue is Gorgotha doesn't have barrier. But for this kind of level play, you could easily just do it with 75% score reduction. Thoughts on a new Diabolicist class? It is 100% useless in every single way and form, pretty much. Jinx is decent on it, but that's about the only redeeming quality it has. Other than that, it does have an okay weapon. Like, it has a slightly above average hero weapon, as far as hero weapons are concerned. But it's not anything meta-breaking, and it's mostly just a curse option for when you don't have other curse options. But yeah, the hero class is very underwhelming. And I would rank it as bottom 3 in the entire game, alongside of things like Knight hero class. About that bad. I'm not sure if I would say it's worse than Knight, but it's pretty close. It's hard to top Knight at being worse, because Knight has like no redeeming qualities. At least this thing has like Jinx, because it's about only redeeming quality. I believe it also has a little bit of Skull spam into Doomstorm, because it has Doom Skull start into some attack-related perks, which isn't excessively good, but it's okay. Yeah, the drop table has always been dropping a lot of Cedrics. Why that is, I do not know. But I believe Cedric badges are the most common badge in the entire game. By a pretty large margin. I'm almost getting like twice as many of them as anything else. You get a Cedric. Everyone gets a Cedric, pretty much. It's the best horse summoning class. That is technically true. It's the best hero class for summoning a useless horse. After Stormcaller and Tidecaller, Diabolicist was kind of a disappointment for the... Well, Stormcaller was originally going to be a disappointment, but they changed the final trait at last minute. And we kind of thought they were going to do the same thing with Diabolicist, but they didn't. Because similarly, Stormcaller had a useless trait prior to it getting released, but then they changed it like last minute. But for whatever reason, it's just so weak. Like, it literally makes the class weaker in most teams, which is why I don't want to use it while farming, because I don't want it to accidentally summon a troop in the first slot that I don't need there. But there are plenty of compositions where his final trait actually makes the team weaker. And while there are hero classes that technically have the ability to summon something at a 25% chance whenever you cast, and they can actually utilize it to be good, the problem with this hero class is it's always active. So even when you don't want the perk, it's still active, which is really bad to have. It's okay when it's optional, when you use it extremely situationally in a team that can actually utilize the summon. But when you have it as a constant thing that you can't even turn off, that is really, really, really bad. And why they gave it to it, I do not know. Okay, now we can just Zook off into hopefully enough skull spam to kill. Oh, never mind, you have stealthy. I thought that was an egg for a second, not the egg thief. I always keep forgetting that, because it has an egg shape for its icon when it has full mana. I sometimes think it's the other egg that it summons, rather than egg thief itself. Because the egg does look like that. Not the exact full icon, but the way that the egg looks in that image is the same way that the eggs look in the troop itself. I should probably cast this before I do Leprechaun, just so we have Blue Storm active to increase our chance of extra turn. Get more blue into him. Oh, yeah, it is kind of funny. I never thought of it like that. But yeah, common weapons are actually the rarest weapons in the game. Because, in the sense that, not because they're actually the rarest, but in that there is the lowest number of common weapons than any other weapon type. Which is really strange. I think there's something like 14 common weapons. Which is substantially lower than any other rarity type. I believe the highest is legendary. Let's see, we'll grab that for now. Grab our yellow, and then he'll just get skull distracted. Hey, an Elma Grim. Means nothing since we don't need to worry about Devour. Instant kill him. Or Devour immunity, I should say. Obviously, he can't Devour. I'll take that. Grab our Gorgotha. Egg Thief, hopefully don't Agile, good. Oh, still didn't die, though. Our explosions that we need. Last little bit of mana, no Agile, good, and he's dead. Duke off him. Boom, there we go. Boss chest, what do we have? Anything good? Nope, not really. Yasmin and Token of Guard. Okay, next kingdom that we need to go grind out. Where are you? Let's just do Gar, I guess. And to next one we go. Yeah, they do plan on eventually replacing Warden trait. 5 armor to all to all allies is extremely underwhelming. Especially since the class itself doesn't even utilize armor for anything. Actually, never mind. I believe it does have that 20% extra on Skull thing, but still, it's barely anything. Basically makes it do 1 extra damage on Skull. That 5 extra armor it gets. Yeah, I did pretty good this green day. We scored 9,600 today on Guild War. It was on the previous stream, which will be up a little bit later tonight. But, yeah, I scored 9,600 something. I think it was 9,638. Actually, we could literally just go look at it right now. But yeah, we scored pretty high on it. Let's see. 9,628. Okay, I was 10 off. Yeah, we scored 9,628 today with this team. It was the same one that we used last week. Except it scored even better this week because we had medals. But it was Doomed Glaive, Apothecary, Wild Queen, and Possessed King is what we ended up rolling with as Titan hero class. Yeah, it worked out quite nicely. Where was I? Kedar. To our Explorer. Grab that, get our explosion. Get another one going. Get our Zugaf over there. Also, Halloween's right around the corner. I did technically slightly get a costume for it. Just to have something different for once. Not really much of a costume, but still something different. Nothing else. Not sure if I'll be able to wear it the whole stream though. Just because I can't really wear it with glasses that easily. Try to see if I can adjust this some to make it work. The last I tried it didn't really work that well. It'll be a problem because I need that to see, otherwise I will not be able to play. But then again, let's see. Could I play without glasses? Probably not. If I put it up on the TV, I might be able to just because it's so ridiculously large. Okay, I can kind of see, actually. If I was just doing farming, I probably could. Because I can see if they have mana or not. And that's, like, the most important thing. Like, I can't see much else. Like, I can't see a single number. However, I don't need to see what the numbers are. I just really need to see if they have mana or not have mana. Like, the only important info I need. I can also see that he has yellow text there. So he's damaged. I can't see what his HP is. But I can see that he is damaged. Yeah, I could play without glasses if we were doing this. Definitely not Guild Wars. That I wouldn't be able to do. But, token farming, I think they easily do without glasses, I guess. Assuming I was using a team similar to this, where all it matters if they have mana or not. Since everything is instant kill or mana accumulation at random. I can also easily see if there's a blue storm there. I can't see how many turns are left, but I can see that's a blue storm. Let's see. Oh, so how much different do I look without glasses? Because I'm always wearing them on stream. I can't really see that much without them. Like, I can't see a single number on screen right now. Also, it's starting to hurt my eyes slightly. Well, that might also just because I'm tired. Oy. Let's see. Okay, and that should be match. Fill that out. And mini boss time. Luckily, we can just spam click through that. That is so annoying that they add that screen. It's a lot easier with controller, but it still wastes like half a second. But if you're doing it without controller, it wastes something like 3 seconds. Which adds up. Given that explore battles are generally really, really quick. Under a minute each. Even under a half minute each in some cases. And it should be enough to kill. Oh, I didn't hit another skull. I look the same. Yeah, my beard already like grew back. I just shaved it like a week and a half ago. It like all grew back already. Yeah, it grows back pretty quick. Like, of course, my friend was here for 2 weeks, and he actually shaved, like, before coming down, too. And neither of us, like, bothered shaving during that time. And mine was, like, 3 times longer than his by the end of it. By the time he left the other day. Salty said they try to do something about it. About what? Okay, we'll go for that for now. Be enough to get a kill. In case I'm gonna do that. Safety skull. I had a feeling we'd only get one. And we did. Oh, we might have gotten two if I would have kept them there. Oh, good, nice. We got Arachnia, double Arachnia actually, and a Cedric. Really nice. That is almost a Medal of Arachnia. I believe we need 2 or 3 more tokens, and that's a Arachnia medal. Yep, 2 more. We got an Arachnia medal. Nice. And I actually need that Arachnia medal because that will allow us to get a ultra rare to gold. Not sure which one we'll do. Also, I might just save it for the troop tomorrow now that I think about it, because the troop tomorrow is going to be an epic that we might want to upgrade. If they don't plan on nerfing it. Also, refunds better include medals as well. Oh, you know what? I didn't think about that. Maybe they won't. How are they going to go about refunding medals? If you were to go and try refunding a troop that you put medals on, would you even be able to? Because they probably don't keep track of what medals you used to upgrade it, nor how many you used. Because even though I normally go for always the 100% method, people could have used the non-100% method. So they could have thrown, like, let's say it's a epic rarity troop, and they only have like rares at the moment, so they keep throwing rare medals, which don't have a 100% chance. And they keep throwing it, and maybe it took them several times, or they got it first try off of like one single random lucky one. And yeah, I wonder how they're going to go about that. They never discussed that at any point. I might need to actually ask that one in the Q&A, because they never at any point mentioned how they will go about refunding the medals on nerfed troops when they add like the refund option for them. Because I highly doubt the game internally keeps track of the exact method you get it to max, or how many souls you put into it to be able to use it in the new format. Because it's not like they're never going to nerf a troop again. They're going to at some point. Have I tried the, oh yeah, I've been using that team. I haven't been doing too much of my grinding that way, but yeah, I've been using it. The, this team. Where do I have it saved? I have 2 versions of it. But yeah, this one right here. Yeah, I've been using it some. I generally prefer going for the 20% ones. Also, I'm trying to level up the hero class right now. And generally, this team needs a tanky hero class in first slot. You can't just use any hero class. You technically could, but it would be a bit slower if you did. Yeah, it's among one of the quickest wins you can get. The only problem is you don't get 20% shard bonus. But if you're looking at it from a gold perspective, it is more gold. It would also be more gnomes. Though during a gnome event, it might be a little bit annoying because there are some gnomes that have immune to poison. I believe 2 of them do. I know the mech gnome definitely does. But, yeah, that team is pretty decent. Yep, that's the team I normally use. Mountain Crusher, Iron Gut, Zugoff, and Leprechaun. But I'm trying to level the hero class right now. Where'd the other one go? Not what I want. Where'd it go? I have too many teams saved here, gosh. Where did I put the team? Hiding on me. There it is. Go grab a yellow for now. It all exploded. Explodey. Also, if we get that Medal of Arachnia, I can actually max out my Leprechaun. I'm not sure if I want to, because having max Leprechaun, given that it only gives HP and armor, is really only useful for Guild Wars. But, you know, it's still a nice utility. Make him even tankier. That's the only slightly annoying thing about a lot of the typings in the game. Quite a few of the good support troops in the game have, like, the support thing as their thing. And all that gives is armor and HP. And it's not even, like, the better one. There's one that gives more HP than armor, but the support one gives more armor than HP. which is very useless on most of the things that have it. Because it doesn't speed up the battle at all, it just makes them slightly harder to kill. And not even in a better way, like if it gave HP and armor, it gives armor and HP. Which there is a difference. Because obviously HP is better than armor. I wonder if they're ever going to make an update in the future where armor is actually utilized more. Like, if Reflect ever becomes really broken, making it so Reflect will only work, like, if you have some amount of armor or something. Something along those lines. Burn used to be like that. In that you wouldn't lose barrier if you had armor while you take burn damage. But now you do, which is weird. Not sure why they changed that at some point. But there's currently almost no benefit to keeping up your armor. And having more armor is generally pretty bad just because of armor, with the only main exception being, of course, armor boost ratio in troops. Pimping the stream on Channel 1. Yeah, I haven't been advertising in Channel 1 much lately. Probably start doing that again. Especially once we fix the connection so it doesn't keep dropping like every hour. Also, did the devs say what time the Q&A stream is tonight? I'm pretty sure it's in half an hour, but I'm not 100% certain. But if I had to guess, it's in 30 minutes from now. Eyes are being weird. Particularly the left one. So what's up with it? It might be an eyelash, actually. Keeps like wanting into water. Anyways, let's see. Would I bless Bill Warhammer with an honor? Oh yeah, I haven't been handing out honor much lately. I'll probably do it tomorrow night. Hand out a bunch of honors. Since we're probably going to have a pretty big stream tomorrow night. Because we'll be going over anything important that they say during the Q&A tonight. As well as, it'll be our first event stream for like 2 or 3 weeks now. It's been a while. Hello, Cynical! Welcome! Yep, we're finally back. Yeah, we're back to normal schedule, so we'll be streaming every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As well as the Monday videos sometime soon tomorrow, and all that good stuff. And obviously we still have quite a bit to farm and do videos 4 and 4.6. As well as some things I wanted to deliberately hold off on 4.5 because I knew 4.6 would change them. Such as soul farming, which I never done a specific video on then. Because I've known since 4.5 that they were addressing it in 4.6. Which is why I didn't want to do a video on it, because I knew it would be irrelevant after like a month or two. So I never did go over challenges, did I? I made mention of it many times. I don't think I covered a video on it. I'll do that. Especially now that we have medals. Because now, of course, whenever I mention teams, I have to show them with medals as well. Not as important with some teams, but obviously some teams are extremely medal dependent. The only bad thing about Gorgolfa, it can summon a horror thing. That troop is just generally really useless and just blocks mana. Ooh, Token of Arachnia again. Nice, we just need one more. Then we have another Medal of Arachnia. Tributes! Right, that's another thing that's really low right now. I didn't spend a single gem on the most recent hero class, yet I still have like under 25,000. That was getting basically none while I was gone because I was almost never checking it. At least relative to the normal amount I would have. And that'll start replenishing itself slowly. They had a lot of fun the 2 weeks I was away. Let's see. We'll take that for now. Grab a explosion everywhere. Oh, what else do we need? Just go for another explosion, and then we just go Zug off into what will hopefully be a kill if it hits it correctly. But too bad it didn't move Zug off to first. That is not a kill. It is though. Also, what level is hero class? 14? 15? 13! Also, I didn't give it a single talent yet. I should probably go do that. I don't think most of its initial ones were even going to be helpful, though. You never know. Probably get something for Damon. Get +1 attack for it or something. That makes such a small difference. But it would add up how many skulls we sometimes get on these battles. How you hit the elite level this week. 1337, that's funny. Now. One thing I still haven't timed out yet is when using the quicker method of killing these, which I'm currently not using, just because I'm trying to level up hero class, so it's slightly slower, but we gain hero XP. But I'm curious what the quickest method of gold farming is in Explore now, because I believe it's over 300,000 per hour, pretty high. These battles definitely don't give a small amount of gold. We're getting, like that battle just gave us 4,000 gold. And we got the Bile Assist level. We're trying to grind that up slowly. Also, it's going to be interesting next tomorrow, because we're kind of have to decide on which one do we want more, Leprechaun or the new trip. In most cases, it'd probably still be Leprechaun, but teams that are set up to be a little bit more infinite, like Truffle teams, are probably going to run the whatever his name is, Singer, or Fiddler, or whatever his name is. I need to remember it because it's going to be such a meta troop, assuming they don't nerf it. That and Turnip plus Truffle is going to be funny. You don't even need a full Goblin team, and you still just get infinite loop off of it. Extra turn spam. So far, every single weapon that has extra turn on it has been extremely overpowered. And by every, I mean 2. Because I don't think there was another one, was there? Yeah, Rope Dart was the other one. And by extra turn, I mean extra turn on a perk, not on the weapon itself. There are a few weapons that have it attached to the weapon. That's not the same. When grinding, it's best to use Mortar and Pestle. Not that kind of grinding. Though, it's kind of funny, because whenever I think of that, I think old school RuneScape. Because most of the grinding in old school RuneScape, if you want to get the most efficient times, you actually have to use a Mortar and Pestle. Because there's a really weird, not intended, but kept in the game glitch / feature, where you can basically, there's like ticks in the game that are basically like a, almost like a turn-based system, even though it's not actually a turn-based system, that basically just keeps track of the progression of the game. And you can tick manipulate the game by using a mortar and pestle, which is really, really funny. And most of like the most efficient methods in the game actually use a mortar and pestle for various grinding of skills. It's like the first thing I think of whenever I hear that. Let's see. Next one. Oh, grab that for yeah, there are weapons that have automatic extra turn, but I was referring to the ones that have it off their perk. Like the ones that have it off the skill itself are things like that one thing that gives souls, Death Kneel, and I believe there's one or two others. But as far as ones that have it specifically off their perk, it's only Rope Dart and the new one that's coming out tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. And the reason why I distinguish between them is most of the weapons that have a extra turn, specifically on its ability, are balanced around that extra turn. However, the weapons that have it as a perk are not balanced around it having the extra turn, which I always found kind of weird. It's one of the reasons why Rope Dart and stuff is so powerful. Because even this weapon, like, they didn't change anything about it. It's just a standard double weapon. But the difference is it has automatic extra turn on it. So they didn't downscale it at all, yet it still has extra turn attached. Makes it extremely broken. Also, we just got a double medal. We just got a medal of Cedric, and we got a medal of Arachnia. Might be time to go upgrade stuff. I did not mean to do that. But yeah, now we have 1 spear medal of Arachnia, and we have 0 spear medal of Cedric's to actually use them. And now we still have the Arachnia. However, I think I'm going to use it on the troop tomorrow. Because if they're not nerfing it, I'm probably just going to upgrade it. Even if it gains nothing too viable, just because it's going to be used a lot. I'm trying to think of what other things that are underneath Epic. Because I haven't actually upgraded any Epic yet. I have not given a single Epic any amount of upgrade so far. And there's obviously quite a few that would be useful to have upgrades on. In that regard, let me see. Let's go to the Epic section. What would be useful? Galgway, obviously. Oh, I lied. Never mind. That's a legend. Yeah, I don't have any epics upgraded. I'm trying to think of good ones. Based on their typing as well. Zero probably wouldn't be too. Oh, no, it's support. Never mind. It'll just be extra durability. It wouldn't be bad because sometimes it's used up front on a team in first or second slot. Normally second slot. But depending on composition, you sometimes use it in first slot, kind of like a Ragnagord. Yeah, Ragnagord wouldn't be that bad either for it. What stat does Emperina gain? Emperina was viable again. Nope, not really. Really, it gains no attack. Kind of weird given the ability that it does. Let's see. Forest Troll would actually be a really solid option. It becomes even tankier. This is one of the few ones that gains pure HP armor, where that HP armor would actually be good, similar to how Humility is with it. Because it actually gets to utilize those stats, like some troops. Oh yeah, Gargoyle would be pretty decent too. I almost forgot about that. Actually, maybe I'll put it into that because it gains attack. It gains 4 attack. Doesn't gain any on first level though. But it would end up gaining 4 damage from being upgraded. But do you have 3 to 1 or 2 to 1? I think it was. Pretty sure it was 3 to 1. Yeah. So he'd gain 5 damage from being upgraded to max. 4 magic and enough attack to gain 1 additional damage. Not too bad. Technically even more than that, since you might have double Gargoyle on your team. And he's actually gaining closer to like 7 damage from being upgraded. Which in the context of Delves isn't a huge number, but it still adds up. Oh, what other epics aren't useless when upgraded? Not many. Bunny might be, even though it's not going to be that important to. It's just the compositions that use it are pretty high level. Every invasion raid troop technically counts as that, though I don't think you'd ever go out of your way for them. Ragnargord, oddly enough, gains pure durability, which can actually help close the gap of him not having that high of a durability. It'd be pretty cool. I currently only really use him for one Guild War team, though. Normally on red Guild War day. Rowan gains, I believe, 6 damage or something off of pure magic. Kind of weird that it doesn't gain any amount of armor, but pure magic isn't necessarily a bad thing. So of course, it would gain double the effect off of armor. I'm not sure I want to go into any epics, because they're pretty pricey compared to upgrading ultra rares. As far as how time consuming it'd be to upgrade them. Yeah, I'll likely stick with ultra rares. Oh yeah, I still need to get Apothecary upgraded some. It doesn't gain any offensive capability, but keeping Apothecary alive is pretty important if you're ever using her. And it'd be good for delves. Want to make sure I have that done before delves get around. Yeah, we got a lot of upgrading to do. And I haven't even tried attempting Mythics yet. Nor will I be anytime soon. It takes so long to upgrade them. Unless you're trying with pure luck. Anyways, let's go back to the grind. Probably do one more and then probably head out for now. Just because Salty and the devs should be streaming pretty soon. We'll likely be up in about 15 minutes. I do definitely want to catch the Q&A stream. Go over it tomorrow, anything that might be more relevant with it. I mean, I believe they're mostly just talking about the most recent patch. Possibly some future stuff. Mostly the most recent patch. And answering some questions at the end. Yeah, I think that's going to be my question this time. Is how they plan on, how do they plan on doing troop refunds with the new medal system? I'm not even sure if they thought that out yet. Because it was mentioned nowhere in the beta. It didn't even come to mind at the time. If anyone else knows any questions, we can have our own little mini Q&A stream. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, let me know about anything. Otherwise, we'll probably wrap up after these last few battles for this last little explore chest. Hopefully we get our double Nisha. I need that +4 magic already. I still don't have a single one. So apparently a lot of people still don't have it. Obviously having 3 would be very, very useful. Hello, Polly! Welcome! Yep, we're back. Okay, I got all these explosions there. Our Golf are going again. Got that to 14, almost 15. Still got a ways to go before it's anywhere even relevant. I don't really need to get it that far though. Really only need it for the kingdom upgrades, and it's not even 10 star yet. I believe it's 1 troop short of being 10 star. It also technically means it's 11 star. Once it reaches that star level, you just get automatically to 11. Whoa! How did you die? Ah. Penguin just killed us. I haven't lost one of these in like ages. Oh wait, would you like to end this current Explorer run? No. We just died to triple damage Penguin. I did not see that coming. Penguin dies first. Not again. It's kind of funny. Normally it wouldn't naturally have a blue storm, but because we're running Jar of Eyes, there is a blue storm in play. Makes it do triple damage. Makes it one shot basically anything on our team. Which it does, because triple damage onto 51 is 153 damage. Which is enough to kill everything. Even Zugov, as we just saw from the previous battle. Hello, Bobby! Welcome! Did my friend get enough trigger time? Yes, he did go back. Kind of wanted to go back a third time, but he already used up within 2 times $1,200 or so. So he stopped at that point. But yeah, he went way over budget while he was here. As far as everything that he spent money on. I think his original budget was to spend like 500. And he just kept wanting to do stuff around, and yeah, I think he left like spending like 2,000 or so between everything. He never did get to go scuba diving though, but it's mainly because there's like no good way to do it around this area this time of year. He did pick a pretty bad time for it, because it's pretty much just all off season right now for this area. During the summer is when like everything's rolling. We grab for now. Let's go for Alpha. Grab that for now. And it was Zugov kill. Oh no, we didn't get to do the battle thing. I forgot because he didn't have enough shards. Fail. Oh, you say that. What are the chances for mythic metal? I have no clue. It is really low. I feel like it's like 1% or something. It feels very, very, very low. You know what the drop table kind of feels like to me? It feels very similar to like the guild key drop table. Because the guild key drop table kind of goes all over the place. It has like a pretty hefty amount of ultra rare. If I'm not mistaken, it's like near identical to it. Oh, except I forgot, this doesn't have rares and commons. I thought it did. Well, yeah, the other one does. The Guild 4 chest does. But I don't know, it kind of seems like that because ultra rare is the most common. And like epics and rares are like kind of decently common. And then commons are like not as common, even though they're common. And then legendaries are a little bit, are one of the rarer ones, and then mythics are like the ultra rares. But I don't know, it feels somewhat similar to how the guild chest works at like 5 or 4. Wherever it has like all the drops. Not exactly, but it's really similar to that. Where the ultra rare is kind of the highest point and then kind of like disperses from there. It's really strange that the middle is like the highest, but it is kind of how it is. I keep tweaking mods for Skyrim. I haven't modded a game for a while. Or played a modded game, I've never bothered modding any specifically. But I think the only game I ever really bothered doing that much with recently was Stardew Valley. Because I had a lot of potential for it. With how the game was set up. But I generally just play games as their base game. Even if they do have the capability of being modded. Like for example, Darkest Dungeon. While it had a bunch of mods for it, I never bothered playing it with mods. Because I felt like it would ruin the experience if I did. And same with Darkest Dungeon 2. Even if it has modding, I'm not going to bother ever playing it modded. I feel like it would take away from the base experience of the game. There are some games that would improve upon it. But there are also some other ones that are not exactly more competitive, but they're more like skill-based in a way that I feel like mods would take away from the challenge. Or at least the original intended challenge. By tweaking it in some way, either easier or harder. But anyways, does anyone else have any other questions? Otherwise, I'll be heading out for now. Let me go get the link for Salty's stream, or I should say the dev stream. Since Salty won't really be on stream, I believe it's going to be Nimhane and Surian. Let's see, where's Twitch? TV, Infinity +2. Yeah, they should be streaming in about 10 minutes or so. and they'll be doing a Q&A stream going mostly over the most recent patch, possibly some spoilers on some upcoming stuff, and you can ask questions at the end. Let's see, you streaming any Darkest Dungeon runs? I used to stream the game some. I will be playing it again once Darkest Dungeon 2 comes out. However, as far as non-Gems of War games I'll be streaming in the near future, I'm going to be finishing out Puzzle Quest 1 on Switch in the near future. We still haven't finished that out yet. We kind of were starting it, and then I was away for a couple weeks, so obviously we never got to finish it. So that'll be basically my next plan. And the game after that is probably Pokemon. I won't be doing it competitively or anything, but I'll probably do a little bit of shiny hunting, go through the base game, and have fun with that. But yeah, Pokemon, I believe, is coming midway through next month. I forget the exact date. But yeah, those are probably the two upcoming non-Gems of War games that we'll be doing in the near future. Finishing out Puzzle Quest, and then Pokemon midway through next month. But anyways, guys, I will catch all of you later. Oh, wait, one other question. Did you already discuss our troops for the class event that's happening right now? Oh, I mentioned it on Monday. I didn't actually really mention it much other than on Monday, because I don't think I mentioned it to stream, but that's not it. But yeah, it was Black Manacle Hellcats double Lashtu. You can also do Mang there. You can also do triple Lamashtu with first slot of an AoE weapon, and any of those combinations would end up working. But yeah, there's not too many options, obviously. Blade of the Lands does not have that much of a good synergy with itself, so not really much to work with. Personally, I'd even touch the event. It's such a bad hero class. It is such a ridiculously bad hero class. I'm just going to naturally be leveling it over time through the Explore system. I have no intention to power level it or anything like that. We'll just get it passively while farming tokens. We have a lot of tokens to farm, so it's going to get up naturally over time. So don't really need to worry about it too much. And there's no real need to get it up immediately, since it won't even be needed for kingdom upgrades until probably like months from now, because it can't even reach 10 stars, let alone a star